getting started with some weekly frog news. I am the colonel of the gay frogs, here to spread messages of love and support as I talk about what's going on in gay news this week. Let's see what we got going on. First headline: New York City launches program to re-examine gay bar drugging and homicide cases. That is a crazy ass title. The announcement comes more than a year after 2 gay men were killed as part of a drug-induced robbery scheme. The announcement made by the New York City Police Department and the mayor's office comes more than a year after the deaths of Julio Ramirez and John Umberger were killed in April and May of last year. Authorities later said their deaths were a result of a drug-induced robbery scheme that involved at least 16 victims, many of them men visiting gay bars. So the cops haven't been taking any of these incidents seriously because, gay people are involved and cops can't be bothered by that. So enough people have been bothering the mayor from the community to make him do something to make sure people have the bare minimum, fucking protection, the ability to go out at night. And they even found these 6 dudes going out and killing and robbing people. The cops, being cops, didn't want to do shit because, they're cops and they wouldn't even answer for days to weeks at a time. Under the new initiative, gay victims whose cases have not been solved and friends and family members of deceased queer victims can request the cases be re-examined by filling out an online form on the NYPD's website. The form, which appears to be in general form to message the police commissioner, will be reviewed by officials in the New York's Detective Bureau, who will then facilitate those requests. So they're sending everyone to an online form that apparently is some generic form, probably to streamline some stuff. Yep, all this is just, I don't know if this will help or not, but they're doing stuff like this to make it look like they're doing something. And if they would have gotten off their ass to do anything, you would have noticed the obvious connection of all the victims being gay. In December 2021, Tyler Burt reported to police that he was robbed of thousands of dollars after visiting a gay bar in Manhattan's East Village. Burt said he believed the men who robbed him also drugged him. Okay, so I've heard of people like drugging their victim and then taking them to an ATM machine and then making them withdraw like all of their life savings. So something like that probably happened here. He previously described the NYPD as being at times unresponsive and reluctant to work on his case. He shared with NBC News an email chain he had with detectives on this case, which showed that several of his requests for updates went unanswered for days and weeks at a time. Burt said he had not received an update on his case since January of 2022. He did, however, receive a call from the detective on this case in November, scolding him for speaking with NBC News and other media outlets. He said at the time, NYPD did not respond to questions about the exchange. So, it looks like they are bothered that people complained about the responsiveness of the police instead of worrying about, actually doing anything useful. So they'd rather bully you for complaining about them than actually go do any work. That's typical police behavior. Why didn't they pay attention the first time around? I'm just so confused, he said. Why does it have to be re-examined? Because it was barely examined in the first place. Yep, they barely did shit, and then when they're forced to, they complain at you for complaining about them not doing shit. Gay hate crimes account for the second highest share of reported hate crimes in New York, according to New York's hate crimes database. Yeah, well, this part of this problem is it's into hate gay people right now because trans people are lumped into gay people, and so they are one of the. If it's against a trans person, that's much more likely to be just because they hate trans people than gay people. Although it all gets lumped in together, and then gay people will end up getting attacked too because of it. Now, I don't think this is targeted because they're gay. It definitely sounds like they're targeted because the cops don't care. The cops prove the criminals right. Authorities have previously said that although most victims were gay men, the suspects in the citywide drug-induced robbery scheme were motivated by financial gain, not because of their sexual orientation. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This feels more, I'm targeting gay people because I know it's going to be easier to get away with it, and I'm just going to steal some money. Some people end up dead, but I wasn't going for that. But I know I'm less likely to get caught anyways because they're gay. So the mayor is looking for an easy layup, so he finally got involved after getting the right kind of pressure and is finally doing something against all these target locations in about damn time. So next story. At a glance, laws in the Caribbean region that criminalize gay sex. In recent years, several Caribbean nations have struck down laws criminalizing same-sex relations. Okay. So this seems like they're being pro-gay? Courts in Belize in 2016 and Trinidad and Tobago in 2018 found such laws unconstitutional. Last year, top Caribbean court ruled that some provisions of Antigua and Barbuda's Sexual Offense Act unconstitutional. The case was filed by a gay man who was prosecuted for sexual identity just months after the ruling. St. Kitts and Nevis and Barbados struck down similar laws that often sought long prison sentences. Other cases in the region are pending. Okay, so it does sound like they had these awful laws that were specifically saying your sexual orientation is an offense to the public, so we're going to criminalize it, and the courts were like, nope, that's unconstitutional. So overall, that's a good thing. So there's been several anti-gay laws coming out of this region for a while, and it goes back to the founding of these countries. The list includes Jamaica's Offensive Against the Person Act, which makes the abominable crime of buggery punishable by imprisonment and hard labor up to 10 years. And buggery is just an old-timey way of saying butt sex, so you might hear that a couple times. Dominica is the Same-Sex Offenses Act, criminalizes same-sex activity between men and as well as women, with sentences up to 10 years imprisonment. So this is one of the few countries that goes after men and women for just having a good time. Grenada, the criminal code criminalizes unnatural connection, which is basically any time two or more guys are doing sexual things with each other. Country will issue harsh penalties, and gay people have been the only people targeted historically. And Guyana, life imprisonment for anyone who commits buggery, again that's butt sex, either with a human being or with any other living creature, which basically if you butt fuck, you go away for life. And they lumping this in with bestiality because they know it has nothing to do with each other, but they want you to associate that with each other, so it's a real fucked up way of doing it. And they catch you trying against another man, you get locked up for 10 years. This is just a whole messed up situation. St. Lucia, under the 04 criminal codes of St. Lucia, any acts of gross indecency, which is more, you have gay sex, you go away for 10 years. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as the 90s criminal code, this is one other one that if it's a man or woman doing butt sex, they get 5 years, which is just another way of them going, we hate fun, and we're going to take you down with us. The underground gay people trapped in Afghanistan. There's a video going with this, so we'll watch that first.
Afghanistan has never been a safe place for LGBTQ+ people. But by last year, there was a growing underground community.
My name is Noor. I'm 23. I was studying in Kandahar to be a doctor and was 5 years into my training. Back then at medical school, I had a crush on another student, but sadly, we never got together. For the past few years, I've posted on Facebook promoting gay rights in Afghanistan. And I got a lot of stick for it. Gay rights are not a thing here. It's never been easy being queer in Afghanistan, even before the Taliban returned. I was bullied horribly at school. My brother did his best to protect me, But when he found out I was gay, even he turned his back to me.
My name is Jabbar, and I'm 25.
Yeah, this seems like a huge problem around the world, but it's going to be even worse in some of these countries that consider it just completely abominable. I know America's trying to do that in some places, but I think there's enough people that are against it. I'm just not sure there's any safe places in Afghanistan, though. But I know it's a very interesting country. It's a very diverse country because it has lots of different cultures that were kind of just lumped together by the British and said, this is your country now. Underground gay, like street racing underground group. That would be an awesome name for an underground racing group. We're the underground gay racers. But yeah, I hope these people find each other and they can make their own area and find at least one other person to bring in that's not gay to help them protect themselves. Yeah, the under gays.
5 years old. I love football, watching it, playing it. And my favorite player is Cristiano Ronaldo. He's an amazing player. But he's nice on the eye too. My dream is meet him one day, for real. I'm a journalist, and before the Taliban, I'd written a lot of articles about gay rights. I was a part of a growing LGBTQ+ community. We had some freedom, marriages were taking place, but they were unofficial, and all done in secret. I had a boyfriend too, we'd met at school and been together 10 years.
In August 2021, the situation changed. Britain and their NATO allies had been in power for 20 years. But when they pulled out their forces, the Afghanistan government was left to fend for itself. And the Taliban took over.
So one thing that like the way this is framed, it's like, oh, the Britons pulled out and then the Afghanistan government was left to fend for itself, and then the Taliban came in like the thugs they are and just took everything over. But it's like, well, who's really in power if the Taliban can just walk in and they control everything? That makes them the government. So now they're officially in charge, and Afghanistan itself wouldn't be in this predicament if America and Britain and all the allies got together and screwed over the country just because all that oil money. Anyways, for gay youth in Afghanistan in the years before the for gay youth in Afghanistan in the year. What the hell? Why are you doing this? Why did you do this? I'm reading. Stop it. You suck. What a terrible website, BBC. You gonna keep doing shit? Okay. For gay youth in Afghanistan in the years before the return of the Taliban, life was showing signs of improvement, but with the Taliban retook in 2021, those freedoms quickly evaporating, gay people were forced back into hiding. The gay documentary follows the story of a handful of people trapped in hell, running for their lives for the crime of being nothing but themselves. So, like, yeah, it sounded like there were small improvements, but it sounds like it wasn't great for them before the Taliban showed up. I don't like the framing of this because it's like, oh, they got some small improvements. Like they didn't have to hide anymore, but they weren't allowed to do it openly or in public. But like they they wouldn't initially be targeted, but now that Taliban took over, we're back to 20 years ago where it was just barely any better. So it's like the country's just anti-gay. It's just what it is. I don't. The BBC kind of fucking sucks. I'm gonna close your website because you're pissing me off. Fuck you. All right. Back to the good old US of A. Gay pride flag attacks mount amid online challenges by extremist groups. Anti-hate groups are monitoring online extremists who are urging followers to capture the pride flag and deface or destroy it. Basically, losers from online are challenging each other to go vandalize pride flags and throw slurs at people like fucking children. And these losers are probably 30 plus years old. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this dumbass. Like, look at... Oh, I can't... Yep. Look at how he jumped. This is definitely a white dude. He barely got it when, like... like, he doesn't even need to jump, but he decided to look like a fool as he's jumping. Such a weird jump. And then he almost fell in these bushes. And then look at how he runs away. He runs so lame. Like nothing is cool about what he just did. There's like nothing cool about him. He doesn't even look cool in his freaking incognito gear. Look at how he's dressed. Almost falls there. He's dressed in just flannel and blue jeans and just has like a skull mask or something on. But yeah. He just looks so silly. And then this idiot, he looks like he's probably 16. And then he scares himself and runs away. Duh, you lit something on fire. I mean, all that was pointless. They both look so stupid though. 75 flags stolen just in San Jose alone. Enough of these shenanigans have gone on that the first time in its 40-year history, the Human Rights Campaign issued a state of emergency for gay people, believed to be driven in part by online challenges. See, this is what gay hate crimes look like, not the New York story. That just felt like, no, it's a crime of opportunity. This here, nope, this is gay hate. You can definitely tell by the way they run. The thefts and vandalism come as online extremists have been spreading a new hashtag in recent weeks that encourages followers to damage, destroy, or steal pride flags wherever they see them, said Sarah Moore, an anti-gay extremism analyst for the Anti-Defamation League and the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation. Yeah, so this feels like TikTok challenges where they're like, lick ice cream and put it back in the grocery shelf. This is like the 4chan version of that. It's just as annoying. No one likes it. No one likes you. And you look like an asshole when you do it. We do know that this is a trend, and we do know a lot of this stuff is being driven by different campaigns online, both extremist forums like Telegram and also on mainstream social forums like Twitter. Yeah, like these people that are on 4chan stuff, they're flocking to Twitter because Twitter is basically a right-wing website now. I'm on there and I block shit that I don't like, but I don't know how long I'm going to stay on there. TikTok and 4chan stuff, just doing dumb stuff and cause they have no life. Yeah, exactly. I mean, saw them do a gay version of the Green Book, and it's saying the entire state of Florida is a no-go zone because all the dumb shit being passed there. Biden says he's going to do something, but I have a little faith in him doing more than the bare fucking minimum. And really, we have to join together and find as many allies as possible who will actually stand up with us. Because we should never bow down to these cowards trying to bully us back in the closet when they're the ones who need to be scared back into their homes so that they know how to act reasonably in society. There was even some dickhole who threw a Molotov cocktail at the community church in Chesterland in Northeast Ohio. Now these actions should be tolerated and they need to go to timeout so they can fucking behave again. Pride Month organizers confident in security despite far-right threats. Representatives from major pride organizations across the country encourage people to come out and celebrate in a safe and affirming environment. Here, we have New York City and Washington, D.C. teamed up to increase security. So they've made some mistakes in the past and learned how to do better, like preventing a freaking stampede of people after hearing gunfire may have gone off, which that's another issue in itself. We got all these damn guns in the country and no control over what's happening with them because a lot of gun freaks would rather make love to their gun than make sure their neighborhood is safe, which won't happen until they stop fucking their guns. And the stampede only happened because someone pulled out their gun. And they didn't use it, but no one needed a gun there in the first place, but they were just showing off their damn firearm and freaked everyone out. And this is all just insanity. Again, this is another example of people being targeted because they think the cops won't do anything about it, and the cops continue to prove them right. But the people are standing up and showing up anyways because we refuse to be beaten into submission. They feel really confident, and I would trust them. If you are in New York and you want to go to Pride, go to Pride. You should not have any issues. Make sure you know who you can trust out there. The right-wing anti-gay movement has reached California schools. Thankfully, it's not a Florida opinion. Okay. So Florida's basically exported a brain disease, and California is now paying the price thanks to these freaks with Moms for Liberty, or just a hate group who don't get sexual satisfaction anymore unless they can shame you back into the closet. They're making everyone else's problem, definitely without anyone's consent. These are the people we should be kink shaming, damn it. Along with them, gun perverts, and the debate perverts too while we're at it. All this is going on while DeSantis has been treating immigrants like a commodity for some short-term political points. And he's harming real people and real children just to please some fringe group with loud, annoying megaphones. He's also been calling Harvey Milk a pedo just because he's gay, and they want to lump that in when they're the ones who keep doing that shit. They want to lump it in with any gay person with that group, so you think they're connected when they're not. They're just freaks who can't stop thinking about gay people because a lot of them turn out to be gay. Then they use the most hated group in society, pedos, to throw off how shitty they are. Then half the time, turns out that they're a pedo. Who hunts the pedo hunter, I say. But yeah, it's so weird that they keep thinking of sex just because someone's gay. Sounds like you just got sex on the brain when gay comes around, like you may be gay and don't want to admit it, or at least bi. Everyone's a little bi. Iowa couple behind landmark same-sex marriage ruling worries about the future. They should.
Tonight, as Des Moines, Iowa prepares for its annual Pride celebrations, a cornerstone of the LGBTQ plus community now under threat. After earlier this year, Iowa legislators put forward a pair of bills that would ban same-sex marriage and allow residents to deny the unions on religious grounds. Despite the 2015 landmark Supreme Court decision that legalized gay marriage nationwide, a ruling that would take precedence even if these bills pass. It was in 2009 when Iowa was ahead of the curve, at the time becoming the third state in the country to legalize same-sex marriage, allowing couples like Kate and Trish Varnum to tie the knot.
We knew that we had the support of our family. We knew we had the support of our friends. We didn't have the support of government.
It was their love story that ultimately became the basis of the lawsuit.
And a huge thing is marriage is mainly a government thing, like it always has been. The government has always been the first thing that this stuff is about, is the government giving you the rights to exist with the people you love and who you choose to be. And they should never be getting in the way of you having the freedom to do what you want and live the way you want.
Varnum versus Bryan, paving the way for same-sex marriages in the state. But more than a decade later, the conversation has shifted.
We like to think that we live in a place where we are accepted and that our government isn't going to try and take away rights that had already been granted to us.
It seems to have ramped up, and I'm not sure what the impetus was.
Do you feel like the legal status of your marriage is safe?
I would hope that our legal status is safe. But with the laws that are coming, I don't know. It's not just the status of our marriage, but it's the status of just being able to be yourself.
And also, this is exactly why Congress recently passed a law codifying gay marriage and interracial marriage, and then Republicans were complaining, you just threw interracial marriage in to make us vote on it. It's like, you shouldn't have had a problem with gay either. You shouldn't have a problem with any of it. But also, I'm surprised you guys care about interracial marriage either. You guys seem like you hate everything else. I'm sure you'll get to hating on that too if you could, but I'm pretty sure it's the same amount of support for interracial marriage as it is for gay people getting married. I don't think there's a difference, but they act like there is. And it's like, why? Both constituents hate you and like you equally. There's some weirdos that are gay that are conservative and they vote Republican even though you're just throwing your own rights away, and the same with black people. It's really weird.
But Iowa's same-sex marriage ban is not an outlier. In 2023 alone, more than 520 anti-LGBTQ bills have been introduced in states across the country, a new record according to the Human Rights Campaign.
People are right to be afraid because we really have no assurance whatsoever that those rights are going to be protected.
For Kate and Trish, the uncertainty of Iowa's future, very much a concern for the present.
Would we leave the state? We might. If marriage rights are taken away from us, we might leave the state.
I don't want to.
We don't want to because this is home.
And Stephen Romo joins us now from Des Moines, Iowa. Stephen, along with the legislation, there's been a lot of backlash lately for the LGBTQ community, right? For folks who are celebrating Pride tonight in Iowa, what are they telling you? How are they feeling about the climate this year?
Yeah, Aaron, there's some disappointments. There's some frustration that the fight over marriage rights is still ongoing. They also say that despite these bills that we're talking about, though, they know there is a lot of support here. They feel supported, and Gallup polling actually shows 71% of Americans are in favor of gay marriage. That's despite these bills that we've been talking about. So people here say they have a lot to be hopeful about.
This is the couple that was instrumental in making gay marriage illegal in America. They're worried it might all be undone now. And that's because that's the goal of these malicious assholes that just want to get in other people's business, distract you from how they're stealing from your pockets. They originally thought they'd have a little breathing room after winning the court case, but these counterattacks have happened super fast, and this shit is spreading faster than expected. It's really sad and unnecessary. Then you got Mississippi passing dumbass laws saying it goes against my religion, saying you can't get married, when that's not an excuse at all. She's being an asshole, and it goes against my religion, saying you can go fuck off until you behave. Then you got North Carolina, Kansas, have similar bullshit laws, and I was trying to join this mess, be a group of loser haters, passing more hateful laws. Nationwide, both the American Civil Liberties Union and the Human Rights Campaign are tracking approximately 500 anti-gay bills. Now we have to be extra vigilant just to have a normal existence. When you hear people speaking of privilege, this is what they mean. When you got it, you don't have to fight for it. You just get to have a normal life. It's just given to you. But without it, you have to fight just to live without someone bothering you. Black woman gunned down at gas station because she was gay, family says. The family of black woman who was fatally shot at Texas gas station is calling her killing a hate crime. The family of a black woman who was fatally shot at a Texas gas station is calling her killing a hate crime after learning the shooters allegedly shouted gay slurs during the incident. Kara Ross, 24, was pumping gas at the station in Cedar Park last week when she was shot and killed by a man she didn't know. According to the Cedar Park Police Department, Ross was pronounced dead at the scene. Suspected shooter, identified 23-year-old Bradley Stanford, fled the scene but was later arrested on charges of first-degree murder. Now, I definitely think this could be a hate crime. I also know that a 23-year-old is young and dumb enough to just have gay slurs at the ready to use whenever. And it also could be because they're black. Could be both. It was a hate crime, Ross's father, Hill, told Austin American Statesman. She didn't know him. She gets out of the car and he starts calling her gay slurs for no reason. A GoFundMe campaign was launched to help Ross's family with funeral costs. It's really sad when that's what it takes to bury someone. Akiara was the victim of a shooting in Cedar Park for the sole reason being queer, the fundraiser reads. I'm asking for the community and allies to come together in order to support the loss of its gay sibling. The loss comes so quickly into the beginning of our month where most can feel at liberty to be free and be themselves. I wish there was more info, but it looks like since it's an ongoing story and the person's still at large, we don't know enough. I definitely think it's highly likely they are homophobic and that's why she was targeted, but that there's no way to know for sure. Honestly, there's not enough info outside of the gay slurs. I mean, that does highly point towards it. I do wish we knew more about this person though. I think knowing more will paint a broader picture. It mostly just seems like another ignorant, annoying, asshole and deadly young man. And to round off our weekly frog news, we're gonna know, what does gay pride smell like? We got some gay pride candles, trans candles, some trans candles and bi candles, and it's all soy. We're making some soy boys today. Every year, millions of people flock to Manhattan festooned in rainbows and feathers and leather to celebrate the annual Pride March. Many of them will traipse down Christopher Street, home Stonewall Inn, the epicenter of the modern gay rights movement in New York. But ever stop to wonder what it smells like? What scents waft through the air, mixed with the ever-present aromas of summer in the city? No? Well, there's a candle for that. It smells just like jasmine and sandalwood. For $45, Literary is selling Pride on Christopher Street, a candle made in collaboration with New York City and Company, the city's official tourism and marketing arm. All profits about $30 per candle after production costs, according to Literary. Going to Heritage of Pride, the nonprofit behind the city's official Pride events. Literary produced 500 of the limited edition candles, but what do they smell like? Most of our candles are very specific scents. Founder and CEO said fragrance choices. Afternoon in Central Park is going to smell like fresh cut grass. Brunch in the West Village smells like mimosa. It's hard to pinpoint what would Pride smell like. Well, what about the different everything? I don't want locations. That's lame. I don't think it's very specific to, feminine or masculine. I think it pleases essentially anybody. Werber, who is straight but said she was definitely an ally, continued, "It's just pretty and bright and lovely, and I think they are all the things that make up what Pride in New York is." I don't know enough about Pride in New York, but I know that I'm starting to get annoyed by these damn Pride candles. Werber's not the only candle maker trying to capture Pride for the oral factory senses. Yankee Candle's Love for All is a 3-wick model touted as a fragrance of universal love for any and all identities and expressions. Has deep mineral aura and hints of driftwood and peony. It's on clearance for $10.50. This not to be used as Yankee's 3-wick Love is Love candle, which trickles the senses with a liberating blend of warm woods, also on clearance. But what does it smell like? Williams Sonoma is offering an Interglow candle that comes in a white jar covered with columns of tiny rainbow hearts. This exclusive candle does more than illuminate. It glows with pride, reads the company's description. Expect uplifting notes of bergamot and neroli. Hotel Lobby Candles released a Pride candle for the second year. Costs $56 and comes in an iridescent rainbow vessel. Holy shit, that's an expensive candle. What does this candle look like? This is a $56 candle. What the fuck? Tropical citrus, passion fruit, crystallized ginger, spun sugar, solar musk. Whoa. That doesn't even look like Pride. It looks like fruit. I don't like it. I was in Provincetown with one of my best friends who's queer, and we were talking about Pride, who founded the company in 2020. I literally said to him, what is Pride like to you? If I were to make a candle that smells like Pride. One note that kept coming up was citrus, so I kind of took that and ran with it. I wanted to feel juicy and bright and zesty, vibrant. That's sort of, my perspective of what Pride feels like as an ally and advocate. She described the candle as unapologetically fragrant, crystallized gender and sassiness, and passion fruit provides the desired juiciness. There's also a note of solar musk according to the description. What exactly is that? If I know anything from how many gay men I know, you need more ass. It's definitely yes, no, feels weird. It was something that we took a little creative license with, Silverman said, laughing as she described solar musk as traditional musk, but with an added layer of sun-drenched warmth. $5 from the sale of each of the company's pride candles goes to Family Equality, a nonprofit that supports gay families, Silverman said. Williams Sonoma and Yankee Candle also advertised charitable partnerships with the pride candles. Radek Dokel owns Scentwick Candles, small company based in Toledo, Ohio. Dokel, who is gay, has a robust line of pride candles, including specific scents for transgender pride, bi pride, and an array of aromas for different pronouns. I'm a gay-owned business, so it's very important for me to reflect that, he said, emphasized that he sells his pride wares all year as part of his company's standard offerings. The They Them candle has a base of vanilla and top notes of lemon, while she here smells of agave and peach. The gay pride candles offer a whole whiff of ozone, which Decal 30 described as an airy odor. This is better. That ally shit was fucking like, you feel like you don't belong and you're trying. Give me the ick. This doesn't give me the ick. This is what happens when you actually try. Ingrid Nielsen, co-founder and chief creative officer of the New Savant, said her candle company was not releasing a specific pride scent this year, though it has in the past, and said she had the company CEO Erica Anderson have opted for what they're calling the Loud and Queer bundle, discounted set of color candles in the existing stock, many of which are inspired by queerness. Both founders are lesbians. Supporting the rights of the gay community is a 365 day of the year effort, said Anderson. This isn't just a time to like slap a rainbow on something, call it a day, and feel like you've done the work, Nielsen added. What I would love to see with pride campaigns is people really making an effort to center the queer community and not making it about the people outside of the community who are allies. Yep. This is about gay people, not these motherfuckers who are infiltrating our spaces. New Savant's latest candle, which included a pride bundle, is Sapphics in the City. It comes in a silver jar wrapped in a soft pink label that explains the candle inspirations, including femi identity, lesbian pulp fiction, and Nilsson's favorite cocktail, the rosy-hued Clover Club. What does all that translate inside your nose? Muddled raspberries and spiced chili powder. Wow. Overall, fuck you and cool. Alright, so this has been your weekly allotment of Frog News. I have been your gay pastor in crime. Thank you so much for listening to all the gay going on. I appreciate each and every one of you. Now play this shit out.